Hi all, welcome back to Sapiens Forward. Today I want to delve into a really basic yet fundamental question out there, which is, should you check out these AI chat tools? Should you try out AI? Maybe for some that seems like a silly question. Of course, why wouldn't you try these out? Some of these tools are pretty amazing what they can do, but no, I know people who are looking at this like, I don't want to touch these things. I don't want to mess with AI. I don't want to know about that. I don't want it to be a part of my life. And they're avoiding trying out these tools simply out of a matter of principle. And on some level, I understand that. There's some apprehension there. I have some of that apprehension myself, wondering what is going to come about by these tools being a part of our lives, being a part of our economy, a part of our society, and knowing that they're probably going to get more sophisticated and even more pervasive. What does that mean? And I really feel that some people are kind of taking an ostrich approach, head in the sand kind of thing. If you know, ostriches stick their heads in the sand when they're afraid of something rather than trying to confront it. But I understand that. Again, I have apprehension about this, but I also have a fair amount of hope, and optimism. And I try to understand, what can some of these tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, these newer AI tools that have come out in the last year, what can they do for me and improve my life? So I really try and take a step back and try and understand the good and the bad. But I think it's important to understand, or at least recognize, from my opinion, that these AI tools, AI in general, it's not going anywhere. Like, that genie is out of the bottle. That it's here, and it's going to be a part of our lives in one way, shape, or form. For example, ChatGPT in particular is averaging over 300 million weekly active users. Got that from theverge.com earlier this month. And ChatGPT as a tool, it's only been around for about 2 years, but really made its big splash with ChatGPT 3.5. Its growth and user base is nothing like anything we've ever seen. And it's going to keep going up. And now there's even more tools and systems similar to that that have come out, like Claude from Anthropic. Google's got their tool out. So these are here. And while they may evolve over time to be something different, there might be different approaches to how we interact with some of these AI tools. Right now, it's largely like apps on our phones, apps on our computers. Who knows what it could ultimately morph into? But they're here. And I don't think there's any reasonable expectation that this is somehow a fad or a trend and it's going to go away. Maybe these particular modalities for how we interact with AI tools might be a trend that'll fade, and who knows, in the distant future, we might interact with AIs, through implants in our brain, like Neuralink, that Elon Musk company is developing, right? But for now, this is here, and and many hundreds of millions of people are using these apps, so they're not going anywhere. So the idea of like trying to just not use it and think like, oh, it's going to go away, I don't want to deal with the consequences, or thinking about the downsides, I don't know if that really benefits anybody, taking that mindset. For me personally, I very much try to adopt a mindset of acknowledging a problem or a risk or an issue that's going to impact me so that I can understand it and figure out how can I overcome that. How can I try and shape its impact on my life in a way that can benefit me more than can hurt me. And I think that is the kind of mindset that people should really take with respect to these AI tools. And, from that point of view, to answer the question, should you try out AI or not? I think everybody should try and see what is all the excitement about, and explore like what could this mean for you in your daily life. For the average person, I think these tools are going to increase in sophistication, and they're going to be more and more pervasive in society. So you will be at a disadvantage if you aren't trying to understand how it could fit into your life. and this is for average people. Like if you follow technology influencers and luminaries in the AI space, or even just the technology space in general, the excitement is through the roof, and of course just overflowing with messaging and thoughts about how this is so great and this is going to be so transformative, and you just want to understand how it works and start using it and benefiting from it. But for the average person, it is not going to be that kind of impact. It might be, you know, are you able to read your email more effectively without being spammed by scams? Or is it going to go up because now people are using AI and stuff to try and target you better? Things in your daily life. Are you going to get laid off from your job, or are you going to have to start using AI in your job? The kind of things that average people need to think about. And the best place to begin to start trying to formulate an idea of how your life's going to change is just checking out what this is. What is this all about? So I think the answer to the question is yes, you definitely should try out AI. And how do you do that? Just access these tools. Go to openai.com, chatgpt.com, anthropic.com, google.com, or just simply put in a Google search, how to find AI tools. I'll put some links in this video and on the website so you can find them. Try them out. They all have free versions. You can see what the excitement is about. Put in some basic questions like, what is going on in the area where I live? And you put in like your location, or ask them some questions about things you're interested in, like what is the most common tree in my state where I live? Or, what is the history of my town where I'm at? Just kind of mundane things. Ask questions, see what it does, because it's pretty fascinating. But to kind of drill back down here into what the impact could be for different folks, I think it's going to be different, certainly, depending on where you are at in life. So, if you're somebody who's in the workforce right now, you're probably thinking a lot about, does AI impact the work I do? Is it going to impact my job and my employment and my ability to earn a living? And I think you really should check out and try out these AI tools, because especially if you're in what is generally called like white collar work, if you're working more from like in front of a computer or something like that, yes, AI has a huge potential to impact your type of work, and you should really try out AI to understand, are there ways that you could start using it to do your work more effectively, or just to get a heads up, an understanding of it when maybe your company at some point decides, hey, we want people to start using some of these tools. You might already have some familiarity when that comes about, and that can be an advantage for you. So yes, be thinking about that. Try this stuff out. Now, I would be careful. I will caution people to not just start using these tools as part of your work, whatever your job might be. There could be a lot of restrictions. There may not be a lot of laws yet about, what you can use these tools for, or for generating some official documents or things like that might be part of the work you do. There could be some risk there. So, I caution you to be careful about how you use them. But at the very least, there's a lot of potential for using these tools to help you understand new topics and train yourself on other areas that could be involved in your job. So check it out for that sake. If you're in school right now, if you're in school still, certainly there's a lot of disruption coming to the education space. I mean, I say certainly because it seems obvious to me. We'll talk about this more on the channel. But certainly right now there's a lot of news about how teachers are trying to deal with the idea that students are using these AI chat tools like ChatGPT to draft essays and their theses and reports and stuff like that. Students, kids are turning in homework that is basically put together by AI, and that's problematic. But I really do think that young people who are at that student age, they do need to try out these tools, because AI is here, right? And it's going to be a part of the economy. It's going to be a part of society in ever more sophisticated and pervasive ways. And so if they're not understanding what those tools can use, they may be at a disadvantage later in their careers whatever their careers might be, because I do feel pretty strongly that AI is going to be a component of just about every job in the future, different at different levels, but somehow a part of things. So they do, these students do need to be careful, though, of course. Similar with, workers, you don't be producing your homework and reports and things like that with AI and turning that in. That's not the idea, but you could be using these tools to help you better study and learn some of the topics you're learning in school. Using AI like one of the tools we demonstrated in a previous video, Notebook LM by Google, using it to help research a topic, to help you understand it more readily, more quickly, more effectively. That can be a huge advantage. Take advantage of that. Use it to your benefit. Just don't break any rules. Don't violate your academic honor code. And then there's also, all the folks who aren't working or aren't students. Maybe they're retired. You're thinking, well, if it's not going to impact you because you're not working, you're not trying to get through school, so you don't need to learn that. AI can still impact you, and so you need to be aware, at least at a high level, what AI tools are capable of, how they might be used by others, and maybe even how you can use it to enrich your life. So, maybe some of the downsides, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I believe we're going to start seeing more prominent and common use of AI tools for generating video and audio that is very human-like and believable to conduct scams on, dare I say, gullible or just naive, or maybe people who are susceptible to that sort of thing. It's going to be at a much broader scale and much more common use for that, since you're no longer bottlenecked by having potentially teams of people running these scams, calling you on the phone, sending emails and stuff like that. If it's now almost entirely programmatic using AI, you can just ramp up the scale exponentially just by throwing more compute power, which is to say the servers and systems that are running the AI tools for you and these processes to reach more and more people. That's all to say, I think people who are at an older age, who may not have as much technical savvy, having not grown up with all these things coming about, you will be well served on trying to explore what these tools can do and understanding that. So if you do start to encounter people or organizations trying to reach out to you, then you can be kind of aware of what that problem is, okay? And try and guard against that. But there's a lot of upside too. So you can use these tools perhaps to research maybe on a trip you want to go to. You're retired. Go travel, see the world, do fun stuff, right? There's a lot of capability for these tools to help you learn about new topics. Maybe you want to take up a new hobby. It can be difficult sometimes to find a personal tutor or somebody who can educate you or train you or provide you instruction on different things. And these tools are very, very capable of providing insights into a broad range of topics. Now, it's not the same as having a personal tutor right there next to you, and there's a lot of things that you can do physically, like learning a musical instrument or something like that. Sure, but there's still it can get you pretty far with a lot of things, and that's pretty remarkable. And so from that standpoint, I think even folks at a certain older age that might be retired, there's a lot of upside to exploring what these tools have to offer, these AI tools can do to enrich your lives. So kind of round it all out, I say, again, to answer the question, should you be trying out AI? Yes, I think you should. There are going to be some potential downsides and disruptions to all of our lives, but there's a lot of potential for good things too. And a general mindset I would say to take is understand the risks that comes with things. Work to protect yourself from the downside of said risk, but then recognize the good and seek out the ways that something can provide a benefit to your life. You can take that kind of mindset and apply it to just about anything, and I think everybody should do that here with AI as well. So thanks for listening. I hope you go out there and check out some of these tools, find out how it can help you in your life and what it can do, and we'll see you at the next one.